Glad you're here, Gemini Rising. I'm Cosmic Girl 101, and I'm going to be taking you through the astrology in a chronological order for our first calendar month being January 2025. Wishing you a very happy new year. It's going to be a long video because there's lots of solar planetary activity. So, if deep analytical astrological information about your rising sign, Gemini rising, this content may not be for you, and I appreciate that. But if it is, your Cosmic Girl 101 has you covered. So let's get into your astrology for our first month. Well, from the 1st to the 5th, we have a Pluto-Mars retrograde opposition. And this opposition is about your philosophy and beliefs about life, culture, things that are foreign. And your ideas and your concepts about these subjects may not line up with people that you surround yourself with on the daily. So don't get into debates. Don't get into arguments about differences of opinions regarding, this is what's going on with foreign affairs. Travel plans may not come so easily, for example, or traveling or communications. So just cool the jets and don't let other people's opinions or differences of opinions impact you so much about the bigger picture in life, okay? That's your advice astrologically from the 1st to the 5th of January. Don't get into any debates about religion. Highly recommended. On the 2nd, we've got Venus moving into Pisces. Now, Venus loves being in the zodiac sign of Pisces, and this transit from the 2nd of January lasts the whole month. And this transit for Venus is happening in a part of your chart which is connected to your career, your professional life, your public name, your image in the public. What do you do? And when Venus is here, it's about uniting. It's about things becoming harmonious, what you value. So you're going to be hyper vigilant, if you will, about your worldly ambitions. What do I want to do professionally? What do I want to be known for in the future? With Venus here from the 2nd of January, you have the potential to connect with movers and shakers, people, places, and faces that can take you in a new professional direction, if you so choose. But if you're feeling that you're getting emotionally drained within your workplace, or you're having creative conflict with superiors in the workplace, this can also be a potential with Venus transiting in that 10th house. Because even though Venus is exalted, Venus can be a little bit too much. So be advised for too many people like leaning on you, taking on more responsibility than your pay rate indicates, things like that. So even though Venus is great, in Pisces, in your 10th house, it can be a little bit too much. So watch also Gemini rising for being hoodwinked in regards to people taking advantage of you and your good nature when she's transiting in that 10th house on the 2nd of January, moving forward for the whole month. On the 6th of January, your ruling planet Mercury is squaring off with Neptune. So this is a tools down day, don't bother day, because nothing's real. Hard to get communication right, paperwork, things to be signed. Certainty is out the door. And this conflict on the 6th of January, because the square is a conflict aspect between planets, the conflict's happening from relationships, contracts, and agreements connected to your workplace, superiors in your workplace. So not seeing eye to eye, feeling like, I'm not connected. There could be relationships in the workplace that are really pissing you off, or there's a superior in your workplace just saying, look, I'm not really happy with our agreement. So expect to be very disoriented, hazy, and agitated on the 6th of January. That's an astrological heads up. So how do you utilize this day in a practical application, knowing the terrain ahead of time? Don't get sucked into rabbit holes. Don't overcompensate. Don't spread yourself too thin. Stand in your power, know your worth, and don't compromise is the astrological advice on the 6th of January. The same day, we have Mars retrograding back out of Leo from your 3rd house into Cancer, and this is Mars retrograding back into your 2nd house. So this isn't your first rodeo. Mars was here in your second house at the end of 2024. So Mars is now coming back to wrap things up, if you will, sort things out before he moves forward on the 23rd of February. So what are you wrapping up here, Gemini rising? Is identifying, creating more strategies in learning niche skills that support yourself and your earning power in the future. So you could be looking at new courses, new ways of working with monetary systems, trying to identify where you emotionally may be spending money. So you like, I don't feel good today. Oh, it's okay. I'll go shopping. That's that sort of nuance. So with Mars retrograding back here in his second house in Cancer, you have an opportunity, if you will, to nurture and make your financial space more secure. If you have to let go of some assets or possessions to free up your day-to-day finance checking account, this is wise to do so. Mars will help you eliminate things that you're emotionally attached to. So get rid of the Barbie collection that you've held on since you were 8 years old, for example. There's money there that you can use. You don't really need it anymore. It's collecting dust in the corner. These sort of subjects and topics are up for grabs and can be useful for you to detach yourself from assets and possessions that can actually help your financial position now to help you get what you need that supports you in your future. So if you have to sell off your Barbie collection to enroll in a new course of self-improvement, something that makes you feel like you're in line with it in regards to you value something that you want to learn that helps you grow intellectually, this is the transit that you might be feeling a little bit more certain to move forward with. And because Mars is retrograde back into Cancer in his second house from the 6th to the 11th of January, Pluto's still opposing Mars. But the opposition now is, do not get yourself wrapped up emotionally and connected emotionally to things that are draining you. Because with Pluto in Aquarius, which is about the bigger picture, the bigger theme in life, you don't want to bypass your beliefs and your aspirations for higher education, long distance travel, learning about different cultures, expanding your spiritual and philosophical mind, spirit, and soul. You don't want to be bogged down and really hyper focused on holding on to possessions or things that don't serve you emotionally and don't serve you. So that's the opposition now that Mars is in your second house to Pluto from the 6th to the 11th of January. Okay, so from the 8th of January moving forward, you are going to be very happy, Gemini rising, because Mercury, your ruling planet, is ingressing into Capricorn. Because Mercury is your ruling planet, it's been in detriment for the last couple of months. So when it ingresses into Capricorn, the dignity of Mercury increases significantly. In short, you're going to be sharper. You're more adept at communicating. You want to know the details, the analytics, the data. You want to know everything logistically when it comes to how you're intertwined with other people's resources, how other people's support systems can help you, and also where you stand financially for your future. So this is a very helpful transit from the 8th of January when your ruling planet Mercury steps into Capricorn, your 8th house, moving forward for the rest of January. On the 13th, we're having a full moon in Cancer in your second house. So this is lighting up that second house of finances, assets, possessions, things that support you. So this is where you can have an emotional purge. You can go, oh, I'm done with this. I need to move on. I can't carry this debt. I need to let go of this possession. Or you might start to see the forest for the trees, if you will, in regards to how emotionally embodied and connected you are to your surroundings. Does your environment reflect your valuables? Does your environment make you feel wealthy and healthy? And if not, this full moon can be your starting gun, if you will, to make the changes necessary to make you feel secure with your monetary flow on the day to day. Moving on to the 14th and the 15th of the month, Venus is squaring off with Jupiter retrograde. And so this is tension. You and going over old structures, morals and ethics connected to work, superiors in the workplace, your professional life. So this is like relationships in the workplace not coming together. There's all things are not roses when it comes to your worldly ambitions or in your career space. And this could be really making you feel, oh my goodness, not this argument or this topic coming up again. So, like frustrating days for you on the 14th and the 15th of January. Again, you are on notice with the astrological weather to stand your ground and not get sucked into being emotionally taking on more than necessary or putting up with. The 15th to the 16th, we see Venus conjunct Saturn, and we also see the Sun oppose Mars retrograde. And so this could be a very sobering, certain definitive days of the month for you, Gemini rising, because you're making or breaking a contract or an agreement in your career space, and it's having a knock-on effect with your resources and your everyday money. So whether you're committing to a contract or you're disintegrating one, this is a long-term definitive decision going on from the 15th to the 16th of January, and it's all up in your 8th house, 2nd house and 10th house parts of your chart. And these are houses that are all connected to your finances, your reputation, and your worldly ambitions. On the 19th, we see the Sun ingress into Aquarius in your 9th house. So the Sun is in detriment in Aquarius. So in short, doesn't like being in the 9th house of Aquarius. Sorry, it doesn't like being in Aquarius. But through traditional ancient Hellenistic astrological teachings, the Sun was in its joy in the 9th house. So there's a bit of a nuance or irony going on here. While the Sun doesn't like being in Aquarius in your 9th house, what this means, we'll go through this part first, is that the Sun, which rules Leo, which is about being recognized, being seen for its talents, its abilities, its staying power, and its passion, and it loves an audience. But when it's in Aquarius, it's seeking out attention regarding those subjects and those topics that we just discussed in a bigger picture and on a world stage. And that can feel a little stretched, if you will, because Aquarius is about everybody. It's out of the box thinking, it's differences of opinions, ideologies, and concepts. So when you have these nuances going on in your 9th house of long distance travel, international and foreign connections, international and foreign travel, different cultures, spiritual practices, philosophy about life, higher education, this is where there is a little bit of a checking in moment about where you may be spreading yourself too thin. I want to go here. I want to do that. I've got to do this, but I don't agree with that. So this can be a little bit mentally draining, this transit for you. But now we're going back to that Sun being in its joy in the 9th house. So how we, for better words, how do we utilize this transit to our advantage? What's the practical application of this? Well, the practical application is learning to think outside the box, think bigger, go bigger. There's wealth to discover in the bigger scheme of things. So you may be keeping yourself small, trying to, at the very least. Why? I don't know, Gemini rising. You could be overshadowed by things in the workplace or your relationships at the moment. But you don't need to keep small and to keep dimming your shine to let other people step in front of you. So the astrological advice is go big or go home. Break out of norms, break the status quo, break new terrain. Don't be shy and go forward boldly with your worldly ambitions, especially connected to higher education, taking on new language courses, going to foreign places that you never thought you'd go, but you'll learn something there. So going big is advised with the Sun transiting in Aquarius in your 9th house, even though we know why. The Sun doesn't like being in Aquarius, but the Sun is in its joy in the 9th house. So this is a better transit for the Gemini risings out there. For the next 4 weeks from the 19th of Jan. The 21st to the 22nd, the Sun is going to conjunct Pluto. So this sets up a new 12-month cycle. And the same day, we've got Uranus retrograde, sextiling Mars retrograde. So this looks fantastic for you being on board with dipping your toes into a bigger world, taking a risk, getting out of a psychological funk, pulling back the curtains and going, I'm ready to step out into the world. And whilst you're doing that, it's building character. So you could be taking on a new course, you could go on a pilgrimage, you could be doing some deep studying about a new religion or a new spiritual path, you could be getting into esotericism, you could be connecting with a university professor. You get the picture. You're opening up your horizons and setting off on a new 12-month cycle that's certainly going to help you feel a little bit more bolder and braver and connected to the world at large. So really nice days from the 21st to the 22nd of January for you, Gemini rising. The 23rd to the 24th, we have your ruling planet Mercury opposing Mars retrograde. So this is about not feeling confident about your financial position, all the support systems around you, resources that you can utilize and that you would usually lean on. And this could be simply a difference of opinion regarding values. And if you need to have some difficult conversations or get support from people to do what you want to do, that you feel that something is valuable, it's going to support you, it's going to expand you. It might be hard to sell yourself on this day, but it's just a passing transit. It won't last. And what I do like about these 2 days is because your ruling planet is also trining Uranus retrograde in your 12th house, you could be selling a product basically to someone to help you, but it's the help is coming from something from the past. So this is not a new assistance that you're after or support from that you're after. This is something that you've been stewing over for some time. So that's quite good from the 23rd to the 24th of January for, I'll go with that. Convincing and selling someone on a product, getting someone on board and going, okay, I'll help. The 25th to the 26th, lovely days of our first calendar month for 2025. We've got Venus sextiling Uranus retrograde. So this is your workplace, your career, your professional life. Feeling more like you can take more of a back step, take a breather. So you might be having a reprieve from conflict in the workplace or differences of opinions. A superior in your workplace is on a holiday, and so there's not much drama, if you will. That sort of thing could be going on between the 25th and 26th. But either way you look at it, for all of us, these days are great. So expect people around you to be more pleasant, and things that you thought would never happen actually happen, and you're like, yay. And it's going to help you improve your sense of optimism when it comes to working and your work life and superiors in the workplace. Now onto the 29th, we have your ruling planet conjuncting Pluto because Mercury's left Capricorn and ingressed into Mercury's left Capricorn and now ingressed into Aquarius, and then it meets up with Pluto and it starts a new year's cycle. And this is your ruling planet, and the same day we've got a new moon happening here in that 9th house. So talk about wonderful. You've got Mercury, you've got Pluto, you've got the sun, and you've got the moon all situated in your 9th house where the sun is in its joy. This is the house where you expand your cerebral, physical, spiritual horizons. It's all systems go and you're all in. So you're making definitive choices about your future and your future trajectory regarding the world at large. So wonderful days coming up from around the 28th, 29th of January. Beautiful. On the 30th, we've got Uranus going direct in Taurus, and this is your 12th house. So from the 30th of January, moving forward dealing with things like isolation, solitude, feeling disconnected, going down psychological rabbit holes, trying to identify where you need to revamp yourself, get yourself out of a funk becomes easier. You've developed a certain muscle for enjoying alone times and doing you. But whilst you've been doing that, you potentially, Gemini rising, have started to realize where you're stuck, and you might need to check out and take time off in different places than your usual haunts. And that's only beneficial moving forward from the 30th of January when Uranus goes direct in your 12th house. And on to the last 2 days of our calendar month. These are wonderful days. We've got the Sun trining Jupiter, Sun trining Jupiter retrograde in your first house of Gemini as a Gemini rising, and Venus conjuncting Neptune. So beautiful. When the Sun trines Jupiter retrograde, this is the day of flow and harmony, to release yourself and anchor into catching up with your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit about expanding your horizons. It's easy for you to go, I'm all in on this day. And with Venus conjuncting Neptune on the same days, it indicates that there's enough certainty regarding your workplace or career trajectory to make you feel confident to step out into the world in a bigger, new way. Whether that's you ending a professional relationship, a boss leaves work, someone in the workplace leaves, or you see a new face in your work professional arena, it indicates to me that you, regardless of what's going on with the Venus-Neptune conjunction in 10th, you're already off and running to the races. You're ahead of the game, if you will, no matter what goes on in your 10th house with the Venus-Neptune conjunction, whether something auspicious happens in your work house or something disintegrates and leaves, you've got bigger fish to fry. And that is quite auspicious because with Jupiter placed in your first house, trining up with the Sun in the house of God, where the Sun's really happy in Aquarius, it indicates for Gemini risings that you are certainly being encouraged by someone. So you might have an ambassador or an advocate just really championing you and going, I've got you, you can do this. So there's support, international support. It's like there's a big world out there and someone's going, yeah, come with us. Even though something might be disintegrating or changing in your work environment or with a superior, it's like you're already in a different place. You're in a different phase with your mind, body, and spirit. So really nice way to end the month from the 30th to the 31st. And we're all going to be going through this Sun trine Jupiter retrograde and Venus conjunct Neptune. So everyone will be sort of blissed out, happy as, doing their own thing, whistling while they work. You get the picture. It's a great 2 days and you're an integral part of it as well. So enjoy it, Gemini rising. Okay, so that's your astrology for the month of January. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already and you like my style of astrology, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done already. And if you have, thank you for your ongoing support. I do appreciate you. And if you're interested in astrology and upcoming videos, hit the notification bell, like the video, share the video, comment. What are you looking forward to in the 2025 year that is the year of astrological change? I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I'm Cosmic Girl 101. I'm signing off, and remember, stay cosmic.